Greeting and welcome to the Intensive Success Growth. I am your host, Nishant Sharma. Please give warm welcome to our guest, Ralph Olivier. Ralph is a tech coach. Welcome, Ralph.
Thank you. Thank you. We're glad to be here. Appreciate you having me.
Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who were you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
So I do a couple things for tech. I could say my dad is kind of an entrepreneur, used to fix computers back in the day when I was a kid, like 3, 4 years old, had his own business company. And for my side income, I've always been, for my business on the side, it's a wellness company, and I do therapeutic wellness. I do also fitness as well, included in there. So that I've always been into that since I was the same age, 4 or 5 years old, just really diving into the motivators behind why people are the way they are.
Okay, great. What are the top three reasons why do people fail?
The top 3 reasons why people fail. Um, it always comes down to, first of all, what is purpose, right? Top 3 reasons why people fail is because they have to have a certain character, right? Character is ultimately the fuel that gets you to who you are, right? Who you become is who you are. And I want to use the word fuel as motivator, because motivation is not how you necessarily, it's not something that you can say, oh, I like this or I don't. Motivation is, what did you get done? That's how you actually see what you were motivated to do, right? So the top 3 reasons why people fail is because maybe they think it's a failure. I think that's number one. And it might not be. It might just be a stop sign. It might be a red light. And then they're like, oh, you know what? It's a red light. I'm just gonna turn around. But really the green light was coming, right? And then you have to, I think the second reason is you have to know what you want to do. You have to know what you want to do. Again, everything to me comes back to who you are and what you want to be doing, who you want to become. And if you have a framework, you can be the best painter in the world, but you have to paint within the the box, right? Your box is your painting, right? So you have to know what you want to do so you can adequately paint, because you can paint all you want, but if it's outside of painting, it might not be counted for. And I think the third reason why people fail is, obviously there's a bunch of reasons, but I do believe it's kind of surrounding yourself as much as you can with other people that are doing what you want to do or want to be where you want to be, because ultimately that is what's going to, you're going to feed off of it.
Okay. What's your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
So my greatest failure story is so interesting because there are so many of them, right? But I will say my greatest failure story, I think I remember failing since I was like young. And I think that's very important, like recognizing early on where you failed. I would say, maybe not use the word failure, but what brought me the most pain since a young person, I think is what propels me to do what I do now. And honestly, um, for example, the top 3 reasons why you fail, right? The third reason is being around other people that are like you. Why? Because of feedback, communication, getting someone that can get you, you can get immediate reaction time, kind of like sports. You dribble a ball, you know exactly when it's coming back, right? You have that feedback loop. So I think my biggest failure was communication as a young kid. And now I kind of teach people how to communicate with themselves, within themselves, and the world around them. So I think my biggest fear, honestly, for my example of it, is really just not knowing how to express myself. and not and missing an opportunity that way since I was young. I think it sounds simple, but it really affected me. Really,
Yes, yes, right. Okay. What are your top three success secret that other can model from you?
top three success secrets. Behind the scenes, always work. Behind the scenes, you have to think about what you do, not just 9 to 5, but throughout the whole day's cycle, right? The sun doesn't stop shining, it just appears to stop shining. The other side of the world is actually getting sunlight, right? So the same thing when you do something, you try to engage in something, don't just appear to be bright or have sunlight. Behind the scenes, you also need to think, because we're not that much different from each other. People are not that much smarter than the other people. They just dedicate more time to their craft. So if you can get off of I think what something that separates people is getting off of the mindset that this is a hourly thing, and this take the mindset that this is actually a lifetime thing, right? It's not just about what you do, it's who you become, how you feel, and that's going to impact every other area of your life. So that's success number one. It kind of goes into every other success. I think for me personally, look at what the average person does in your field, maybe, and do more. Do at least 3 things more than they do consistently. And you're never going to be in the same lane. You're always going to be regarded as someone that people want to talk to, want to engage with, people call on first, think about first, and ultimately get referred to or referred by. And then the third one is be driven. You have to be driven. That's a personal of mine. So let's say max out what you think you can do. Ultimately, they say when you begin to, for example, with fitness, when you begin to get tired is when the workout actually begins. Because working out is not just about the physical, it's coming again from the mentality of how you feel on the inside is who you become on the outside. So if you can persevere when you're tired, that's when the chemistry begins, right? With your neurons, your biology. That's when the alchemy begins with your spirit and your mood and your emotions. And that's when you become truly powerful. If you can control yourself in that state, you can do anything you want.
What's your company motto?
My company model, I'm actually coming up with one right now. I think I'm definitely coming up with one right now as we speak. Yep.
No. Okay. So how do you find your ideal client?
Social media.
Okay.
Social media for sure. Should I go into that? Like, what's my ideal client? What do I look for? Or so my ideal client is someone that is completely has a spark. So for my side business, especially I guess all businesses, someone has a spark and is willing to be led. They have to be willing to be led, because if they're not, then they're just not going to be a fit. They're not going to go. They're only going to go as far as they see themselves. But if they're willing to let go, then they can allow themselves to be taken further.
How do you deliver 5-star client experience?
5-star client experience. That is the best question, because you have to look at people for who they are, their truest intentions for themselves, for the world. And then you have to say, am I a fit for this? Not because you need it, but because you are an actual fit and you're here to play that role of getting someone to the next level. So I think a 5-star experience is something that is catered around that idea that people have to get to the next step, and that the value which you bring, why they're in contact with you, is in purpose for that for them. And I think that creates some sort of attraction, magnetism. And you have to have standards. You have to have boundaries. You cannot do everything. You have to know what you're good at, and then you have to do it. And that's the only thing you need to worry about. Do not know that if someone needs something else, someone will create it, right? You're not the only person here creating. Someone needs something else, someone else will provide that value for them. You're only here to provide what you can provide. And I think coming from that type of thought, all of your clients will always be happy because you're going to be fulfilling yourself, fulfilling them at the same time. No one is going to leave empty.
Yes. How do you handle rejections?
Practice. How do I handle rejection? Practice. I've been getting rejected since I was young. Now I don't even feel it sometimes. Sometimes I don't even know I'm getting rejected. And that makes me so happy because you cannot live thinking, okay, listen, I feel like you're the only person that should have a voice inside of yourself. And if it's not, that's a great start point because now you know you're not. So now you can work towards that. Honestly, I don't even know how I would deal with it because I would first ask myself, what do I feel? If it's I would just be in tune with what I feel and what I know. And if I feel that way, then no one has an opinion to what I need to be feeling. So it's that's really it.
Okay. What are you grateful for today?
Today I am grateful for peace and understanding. Today I am grateful for being able to look at today differently than I did last year.
Okay.
Or yesterday.
Yes. Right. How do you start your day?
Every day I start my day already improving upon what I need to work on, right? So let's say I have 3 goals. I already know I started working on this goal. I started working on that goal. And then by the time the day is beginning, I'm already done with my 3rd goal. And then by the end of the day, I can literally say that I feel good. I'm gonna feel good at the beginning of the day now, and I'm gonna feel good at the end of the day. And then I'm not gonna be sluggish. I'm not gonna be tired energetically. I'm just going to kind of coast into sleep and wake up with the same energy.
Okay. How do you how do you feel? Yeah, how do you handle negative energy like while you are working?
While I am working, honestly speaking, how I handle it is by understanding that people are only going to be a reflection of yourself, right? So if somebody's being very negative, then you have to treat them how you would want to be treated. And you have to understand, wow, this person is coming to me as an opportunity to elevate my life and my understanding and my standing within myself. So how I deal with negativity is I embrace it. I recognize it for what it is. And again, that comes back to the rejection question, right? We can look at sometimes negativity as something that's bad, right? It's really just denser energy. And you have, it'll come off as something bad if you think everything should be good all the time. But really, we're here to learn. How can you learn or gain muscle if you don't have dense weights, right? Dense weight. So I just look at it as something that's natural in the world. You got to think about the yin yang. People think you're yin or yang, or it's both. You're really the line in between the yin and the yang, right? There's dark, heavy energy, and there's light energy.
How young are you?
How young I am, forever energy. I think I'm just boundless. The part of me that is boundless, I let that ruminate through the physical. And people don't even know how old I am. They ask me, how old am I all the time? They don't know, right? Because I always carry that, I think that vision throughout my physical life. And I try every day to let that vision pour through the physical, including my body first and my environment second.
Can I assume you are 26 year young?
I am.
Okay. You are not 26 year young. You are 18 year young with 8-year experience.
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna start thinking that way for sure.
Okay. So, who is your living mentor and what's the impact?
My living mentor. Honestly, I have a lot of mentors. A lot of mentors. I think mentorship is super important. My living mentor, a lot of them. Why? Because they bring me closer to my purpose. And you have to recognize we're not perfect. And I say this because we have to recognize when we started to look at people as mentors. Were they good for us? Or were they bad for us? And now that we are grown, we are able to discern and make decisions based on yes and no. We can say, I want these people around me, and only surround yourself around that and bring yourself closer to your purpose because that's what you're here to do.
Yes. Okay. How can we support you?
Follow me on social media. LinkedIn, Instagram is RAHFOUR ever, EVER. And my LinkedIn is my name, Ralph Olivier Abelard, and I look like this. So you'll see me, you'll find me quite easily.
Yes. Okay. What would you like to say about your guest experience on this show?
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the platform to speak, to have people share their thoughts and emotions and their experience, their perspective, because that's perspective is the driveway that guides you through life. So thank you for that.
Okay. What's your final word?
My final word is seek peace, not results. Seek progress, not perfection. And I'll leave it there.
Thanks, Rolf, for sharing your wisdom with us on the behalf of our community and team. We really appreciate you. Until the next time, all good wishes to you.
I appreciate that. You guys as well.